It's round one of the playoff finale, the Tour Championship from East Lake in Atlanta. This is what number one in the FedEx Cup looks like. It is Dustin Johnson, the final hole, this new 18th, which was number 9 last year. It is a par 5. We've seen a lot of this from Dustin this year. That's a 360-yard tracer, and it leaves him with only 208 in, a 6-iron to the par 5, an easy 2-putt birdie for Dustin Johnson, and a smooth opening round of 4 under 66. He's tied with 2 other players. And Golf Central, he is set to go right now.
Golf Central. Brought to you by Titleist.
It's the only week in golf with 2 trophies up for grabs, the one for winning the Tour Championship and the other for the FedEx Cup. Win them both, as Jordan Spieth did last year, and it's worth more than, how's this, $11 million, by far the richest payout in the sport. And a stacked leaderboard here on day number 1. And hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner, pleased to be alongside the 2014 winning Ryder Cup captain Paul McGinley, a 4-time winner on the European Tour, and former world number 1 and Open champion. That is David Duval. I know you're blown away by what you're seeing with Dustin Johnson.
Yeah, well, we've seen it the last few weeks. In fact, we've seen it since that US Open. We're seeing a different Dustin Johnson. I mean, he's tearing these golf courses apart with the driver. The way he played today, I watched that back 9 on TV, and it was so formidable. I mean, when you're hitting a 360 down the middle of nearly every fairway, the game becomes very easy. And what I'm really looking forward to, we haven't seen it all year yet, Rich, and maybe, just maybe, we're going to get a head-to-head between 2 of the top 4 players in the world who were all under par today.
Yeah, some of those guys playing very well. Dustin Johnson, Jason Day had a good round. Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, they're all right there after the first round, David.
Well, exactly what you'd want. We kind of talked earlier about, you're talking about the guys who basically the 30 best for the year playing this golf tournament. So it's still a big, huge event, and it's a very prestigious title on the line in winning the Tour Championship. Obviously, going along with that is the FedEx Cup, but it's hard not to get past looking at that leaderboard and seeing some of the names of potential Ryder Cup picks. If things keep going, of a Kevin Chappell, of a Kevin Kisner, different players we've speculated a little bit on, but who could really make a statement, Paul. And as a former captain, I'm sure you're looking at it saying, how could you not pick somebody like that possibly if they go out and win? And so the storylines just don't stop.
Justin Thomas shot 68 today. We'll get to this Ryder Cup business as we move along. Bubba Watson, if you're wondering, 2 over par 72. And by the way, we will hear from Dustin Johnson momentarily, just finishing up his first round. Now some highlights from the top 5 in the FedEx Cup. All of these guys, should they win this week, would win it all. How's this for a start? Dustin Johnson, very first hole from the fairway bunker.
Yeah, how about this? 158 yards.
Just a moonshot and stuffs it in and picks up right where he left off the BMW.
So nonchalant, just so nonchalant. The game seems to be becoming so easy to him at the moment.
All right, David, here he is, the 5th.
Yeah, one of the few of less than successful T-balls here, Dustin Johnson. He does get wayward every now and again, but it is a very rare sight. He gets it way left off the tee, but found himself a bit of an opening just under 150 yards, staring it down. And when he gets a little wayward and gets an opening and gets away with it, well, that's what happens. Here you see him strolling up with that familiar stroll. Dustin Johnson.
Been putting better, hasn't he?
Well, that's
He's
the
rolling
thing.
the ball.
If he starts to putt, Rich, man, he even said it himself. If I putt well for 4 days, I win.
And he just eats up the par 5s with his length.
He eats them up. Here he is again on 6. 21 feet this was.
And here he does it with the touch.
And you're right, he's putting very well. He's pretty formidable. Everything, it's all guns blazing for Dustin at the moment, and he's very formidable in this form and with this attitude.
And now the short par 4 12th, David, 122 yards in. The wedge game has been razor sharp.
It really has. We've talked about it, how much he's improved his wedge play over the last 5 years, becoming at one point statistically the best wedge player on tour. Now he's right there at the top.
All right, now at 13, a little bit of trouble from under a tree, and he would make bogey, so he drops to 3 under par. And here he is on 18. You just love this.
I like the guy behind him. He's got his little camera out taking a video of it. Whatever that is, whatever he took there, that should be ring fence, because that was a very formidable swing. As you said earlier, Rich, 360 yards, almost ran down. The lake is only another mere 7 or 8 yards from there.
And it's just essentially a medium to longer par 4 for Dustin Johnson, right? 208 in?
Well, absolutely, 208, 6 iron. Played away from the pin, fat of the green, rolled it up, tap in, easy birdie.
Yeah, pretty much a stress-free 66. Patrick Reed is number 2, at least coming in FedEx Cup points. Did not have his best stuff today.
No, but you see him highlighting his abilities around the green. Even though it looks like a pretty straightforward shot, it's not easy out of that long rough. And you see him here putting for his par, would miss that.
That's a bogey at number 9, so Reed's at 1 over, and that's the par 3, which used to be the 18th hole. Now, after 3 straight bogeys, here he is at 14, par 4, third shot.
Yeah, how about this one? This hole yielded a lot of birdies today. Difficult hole it is too, but not for Patrick with a pitch like that. Beautiful, just what he needed on the back of 3 bogeys.
All right, 3 over 73 for Patrick Reed. Now to Adam Scott. He came in 3rd in FedEx Cup points here at the 11th, par 3, putting for birdie.
He's just in a position where, like the other top 5 players heading this week, he's in complete control. That moves him to 1 under par. And here he is at the 15th with just a wedge.
Yeah, at this stage he was going really well, and we're looking like Adam might be the leader at the end of the day, taking out the flags with some wonderful iron play.
Here he is, 10 feet, all right to left. It's kind you like, right?
Yeah, a lot of discussion about Adam's putting and how well he putted earlier in the year, winning back-to-back. Gone a bit cold during the summer period.
17.
But this was a relatively poor finish here for Adam. It's a drop-up shot here.
Yeah, that's a bogey. He shoots 1 under 69. All in all, in decent position. How about Jason Day here at the 7th, the par 4, this for birdie, David?
Well, we've been watching this for how long now, Rich?
It's a couple of years, yeah.
You know, just making everything. He's making these like they're 3- and 4-footers, and that's one of the most lethal parts of Jason Day's game.
Yeah, now at the 8th, more good putting.
Yeah, this was for par, so again, we'll talk about that word momentum. We'll talk about it a lot next week at the Ryder Cup, no doubt. Very important there.
And now at 14, no signs of the back issues, David, that forced him to withdraw from the last event?
Not right now, no, for sure. I think he's probably worked very hard on getting healthy again. Hopefully it just maintains to be a minor issue that you can monitor as much as anything, because we certainly don't want to see him pulling out golf tournaments with injuries.
All right, birdie at 14 to get to 2 under. Now trying to save par at 16.
Yeah, again, this was to go in. A par saver. These are so important for your psyche when you're able to escape with a par with a good putt like that.
Now Paul Casey, par 4.
You can just see this instantly. Just a smother. Got the toe closing quick. Way off to the left in the lake there.
He made double,
Rich.
Yeah, double bogey, so he drops back to even par. We saw quite a few double bogeys. You see what happened to McIlroy a little bit later. And now today's save presented by Geico. Casey after the bogey at 10 here at the 14th hole, the par 4 third shot. Into the bunker. Doesn't look very good, but hold on. You don't make Geico save of the day unless you do something spectacular, and he just did it right there.
Is that called an up and down? Was that an up and an up?
That's a
what do you call that?
Bunker to bunker.
A flub and a down. That's what it is.
All right. Now Casey, 16th hole, second shot from a .54. He's played some great golf. Solo second the last 2 playoff events.
He's certainly finding a lot of form, and yeah, I mean, as a European, I'm sitting here. We all wish he was in that European team, that's for sure.
And nice way to finish right here. This for Eagle.
Yeah.
Paul at this 18.
They were tearing this 18th hole apart today. Easiest hole on the golf course statistically. And Paul there, nice, beautiful finish. A little bit of an up and down round, but a very good one under par.
All right, so Patrick Reed is now tied 18th after 3 over par, but otherwise, Scott, Day, Casey, 3, 4, and 5 coming in, and number 1, Dustin Johnson, all playing well on this opening day, and Dustin is with Todd Lewis.
The week off not slowing down the momentum for Dustin Johnson after winning the BMW Championship. Give me a couple things you think you did well out there to put up that number.
I think I hit a pretty good number of fairways for me, around this golf course. It's narrow. you really got to be on point with the driver. And I think I drove it pretty well. I had a couple bad drives on 13 and 14, but other than that, I drove it really nicely. And then, hit a lot of quality iron shots, hit a lot of greens today. I don't, really wasn't struggling. I got up and down, twice, I think. And then, one hole I hit it behind the trees. And my ball was against the pine cone. I really couldn't, I was trying to just chip it back to the fairway. Didn't even make it back to the fairway. But, felt like I hit a lot of great shots with the irons and, drove it nicely. So, puts together a good score.
Considering your form right now, how would you describe your mentality, maybe your confidence coming to this Tour Championship compared to others? I feel like I'm playing a lot better coming into this Tour Championship than I have been in others. And maybe not playing better, but I feel like I've been way more consistent this year as far as my game. It's, even when I don't feel like I'm playing my best, I'm still feel like I got a chance and I'm contending. And I think the biggest difference there is my wedge play. I've really improved my wedge play, and the putter's been working the last couple of weeks very nicely. So that helps. That helps too. Final thing, a lot of opportunities for you this week. The Tour Championship, the FedEx Cup, and of course $10 million. With all that in front of you, is it difficult to treat this as just another tournament?
No. I know there's a lot on the line, but there's a lot on the line every week, and so for me it is another tournament. I come out with the same mentality. I'm trying to shoot as low as score as I possibly can that day, and like today, I felt really relaxed out there all day. I felt like I had good mojo going all day, and swung it very nicely.
Appreciate your time. We'll see you tomorrow, Dustin.
Thanks.
Thanks.
He's a molten hot. His last 6 rounds, a scoring average of just a shade over 66, 32 under par. And the big difference here, strokes gained putting. He has gained more than 11 strokes on the field putting in that span. 66 the final round of the Deutsche Bank outside Boston. Then in winning the BMW, 67, 63, 68, 67, now a 66. And when you listen to Dustin, he's never overcomplicated this game. When you drive it well and hit your irons well and make some putts, you shoot good scores. 360 off the tee. David, this is the Dustin Johnson I think everybody thought we eventually would see if he put it all together.
Yeah, I don't know how long I've been talking about it with you, Rich, even. Well over a year that I think clearly he's the best player in the game. He just has to figure it out. I always thought that his...
Hold on one second. I'm going to just stop you.
You can stop me there.
Clearly. You're underlining clearly. Clearly better than McIlroy. Clearly better than Day.
I don't think there's any question. When he's firing on all cylinders. We keep talking about firing on all cylinders, and the way he drives the golf ball, the way he wedges it, and people have wanted to knock him as a putter. And how do you knock a guy who is consistently in the top third of the PGA Tour? He's a wonderful putter, but the weeks he actually putts really, really well, he is unstoppable. I think that Rory McIlroy certainly kind of gets into that conversation. He's starting to fix a few things, but his putting woes have been a big, big problem for him, and his chipping, his scrambling around the greens. But I think Dustin Johnson breaking through at the U.S. Open, it gave him that little bit of extra belief, thought that, if I just go out and do my thing, I can do this. And we're seeing it now, especially when he gets on the confidence like that.
You comfortable with what he just said? Underlining clearly? He said clearly best player in the game.
Well, I clearly think Rory's the best player in the game.
Why? What does Rory have that maybe Dustin does not?
We're not talking...
We're splitting hairs.
Yeah, we're splitting hairs, and we got to put Jason into that. And you got to put the competitive nature of, to get a job done, you got to put Jordan in there. They haven't separated themselves from everybody else by a long way, and that's what makes it so interesting, and that's what I'm really intrigued with. One thing we're really missing from the game of golf this year is that head-to-head battle, and I hope we're going to get it this week, because four of them have got off to a really good start, and it would be great for the game, great finale to the PGA Tour season if that were to happen.
I have an idea. Not only do we want them to go head-to-head Sunday at East Lake, but then the following Sunday at Hazeltine. Right. How about Dustin against Rory to decide the Ryder Cup in singles.
Would
you be good with that?
I'm really intrigued to see how both captains are going to play their best two players. How are they going to put them? Who are they going to put them with? What order are they going to put them out in? Where are they going to put them in the singles? There's so many questions I'm looking forward to seeing answered next week.
Dustin has to go all 5. I think we all agree.
There's no question.
We all
So
agree
does
on
Rory.
that,
You know,
right?
so does Rory.
Yeah.
You have to.
right.
Regardless of putting woes, you have
All
to
right.
go.
Let's take a look at some of the other standouts today. Round number 1 of the Tour Championship at East Lake, beginning with Kevin Chappell, and who knows, making his own case, David, for a spot on Davis Love's Ryder Cup team. We'll see. Second hole here, the par 3.
Yeah, it's hard to decide what needs to happen for Kevin Chappell to make the Ryder Cup team, but keep doing things like that, and he's certainly going to be in that conversation Sunday.
Well, he's had 3 second places this year already. This, you know, is another opportunity for him for, if not a win, maybe even a second place. So hard to keep a guy with that kind of form off the team.
Right. I mean, if he were to win this week, say, and he does not get picked, you'd have to question what was the purpose of the task force, or leaving that final pick open for the winner of the Tour Championship.
Yeah, I really think, listen to what Davis has had to say and how he's handled all of this. It's quite clear he's looking at one of the younger players to burst through this week, and obviously Kevin Chappell is one of those.
All right, a 4 under par 66 for Kevin Chappell. Did not make a bogey today. How about Hideki Matsuyama here at the 6th hole, the par 5 from the bunker?
Well, we all know how good a player Hideki is, and maybe his putting might be the weakest part of his game, but interesting today, number 1 in strokes gained putting. Really strong player. Again, just what the game of golf needs. If we could have a Japanese player rise up towards the very top of the world rankings and win a major championship.
Nice birdie.
Would be a nice storyline.
The 14th hole now at 18. Again, this is a par 5. His 3rd from the bunker.
Another bunker shot here, kind of short-sighted like he was back on the 6th, but executes it perfectly to make his birdie.
Yeah, Matsuyama also 4 under 66. He's tied.
I really like this guy here, Rich. I've been following this guy for the last year and a half. I like his attitude. He reminds me a little bit of Patrick Reed. He's an aggressive, confident player, and again, he could be in the picture by the end of the week.
It's your kind of guy in the Ryder Cup. Punches above his weight, has some fire in the belly.
I think he's got a lot of fire in the belly, and you know, it'd be interesting to see what would happen should he come 1st or 2nd this week, because there's something about him that I've been noticing the last year or so.
You like him. Kisner shoots 67. Siwoo Kim here at the 8th hole, par 4 2nd shot from 186 yards.
Oh, just exactly what you like when you're out there playing. Difficult 8, saw a lot of smother hooks into the lake, but not here. Beautiful golf shot, easy birdie. I could make that. I think you could too, Paul.
Well, yeah, I mean, he hit another one in here.
You noticeably left me out of that.
I'm not sure you could make that, Rich.
Well, we'll let you have this one, Rich. This one went to 2 feet.
Rather yippy of late. Now, Siwoo Kim is in chase for Rookie of the Year honors, and here he helps his cause. It's a great hole out. This is 22nd hole out of the year. That's the most on the PGA Tour. So he's in the chase for that Rookie of the Year award along with Emiliano Grillo, and the way he's playing, and Grillo was over par today. Maybe it's Siwoo Kim who walks away with that honor. And here's the leaderboard. It's number 1 in the FedEx Cup points, Dustin Johnson in great position. And McIlroy had kind of a wild day. He ripped off 3 consecutive birdies on the front, then back-to-back double bogeys at 7 and 8, but then 4 straight birdies on the backside. So he's right in it, along with Jordan Spieth, who finished birdie to get to 68. There's Kevin Chappell. You see him at 4 under 66, and he's with Todd.
It was fun, especially getting to play with kind of the hometown son and Cooch, and really enjoyed myself out there. Getting off to a good start always helps, and to shoot 4 under par is always good.
You saw this golf course for the very first time this week. What have you seen that you've liked that obviously translated to some good scoring today?
No, I mean, when I play well, I drive it well, and some of the courses I've played well on this year, you have to drive it well. And I got here, game wasn't in a great place, but was able to get settled in a little bit and get comfortable with the sight lines, and everything kind of fell into place. I drove it great today, and look forward to leaning on that the next few days.
All right, so in hopes of winning the FedEx Cup title, Kevin Chappell would have to win and then hope Dustin Johnson finishes 9th or worse, that Reed finishes in a 2-way tie for 4th or worse, and this is where we cut out and say, we'll worry about it on Sunday. We've talked quite a bit about the Ryder Cup, because that's looming next week. In fact, next Friday, Justin Thomas, good start. There's that one remaining captain's choice. Speculation around Danny Berger, maybe Bubba Watson. We'll take a deeper look at that when we come back on Golf Central.
Golf Central is brought to you by the Titleist Pro V1 and Pro V1X. Make a difference in your game. Golf Now, millions of tee times, free GPS, and more. Download today.